Say hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to our day.
Welcome to our day.
Oh, good boy.
Our day, rock and roll.
That was the best.
Don't mind the annoying noise in the background, the washing machine's on, but today we are going to be having the shredded hoisin chicken wraps. And these are all the ingredients that we need. Which aren't focusing. There we go. Which all came in the box that we got. So, on the back, it's got really simple step-by-step recipe instructions, which is really nice because, as you know, I'm somebody who gets very overwhelmed in the kitchen. So I'm going to do this. I'll try to remember to bring you along the way if there's anything interesting, but we shall see how that goes. So I've got the chicken thighs in the pan, and I've got to let them get a little bit golden, and then once that's done I've got to add some water into the pan, cover it and leave it for 10 to 12 minutes to cook all the way through. I've trimmed and washed lettuce and the cucumber and the spring onions. I'm going to shake this off a bit before I chop them up though, but yeah, so then I've just got to slice these finely, and then basically that's pretty much it really. But you know, I'll bring you on the next steps. I just wanted to jump in here and say that I really wish that smell-o-vision was a thing, because this smells beautiful. And this is them assembled with the sesame seeds and all of the salads and whatnot in it, and oh my god, does that not look absolutely scrumptious? Yes, it does. It doesn't quite look like that, but my preparation skills and wrapping skills are lacking, but still looks pretty good, and I think if it tastes as good as it looks and smells, then it should be yummy.
Oh my god, I'm knackered. When we got the vacuum, I bought a steam machine as well, because we've got resin in the sink that's a bish to get off, and majority of our house is laminate flooring, and with having two girls going out to the G and then bringing in mud and things like that, hoovers don't get like proper stood in stuff, so I got that as well, and it's been in the box for a couple of weeks, and I thought I'd just get up and do it today. I don't think I've done enough today, and put it all together, and I thought, okay, I'll do the sink because it's a little handheld one, and I think I can do that better. Soph can do the floor. I think we're going to be switching that around, because man, I think I was doing that for 10 minutes, and if that, and my arms were aching having to hold that machine up. Good note though, it got the resin sequins off the sink.
It is working really well.
It's just taken a lot of effort.
Well, not really.
For me it did.
Well, yeah, for you.
Says the one who's like, not really, who's got no muscular dystrophy or EDS. Yeah, the one downside with this machine, which it makes sense, but you can't hold down on the steamer bit. You've got to kind of like dab it. So yeah, it just takes a process, and it's really hot. But when you're seeing this, which is probably Monday. I got a call from my sister on Saturday that my mum had had a fall. So they've taken her to hospital. She's had bloods and the ECG done. Her bloods are showing that her white count is up, which, if you don't know, that's basically that there's an infection somewhere. They also think it might be something wrong with her heart because she's having cold sweats, and obviously her ECG is clearly not right. They are sending her for a CT scan of her neck and head, because she really badly hit her head. But I don't know much else at this point. My mum wasn't going to go to hospital. And then just on the random call that my nan rang her earlier today, obviously mum mentioned it, and my nan rang my sister and told her to get to mum's ASAP to take her to hospital, because if you didn't know, we live 100 miles away from my mum. My nan lives 400 miles away from my mum. So my sister, who lives 20 miles away, gets all the calls. She's a little bit pissed because it's her birthday on Monday and her boyfriend was going to be taking her out today. I'm pissed at her for having that as the priority, because that should not be the case. And I'm, like, both Soph and I are both so angry that she's stating that mum's basically ruined her evening, when at the end of the day there could be something seriously wrong with my mum, because they don't know what's happened to her head and neck, and they don't know if it is her heart. So yeah, that's wound us up a little bit, so we thought we'd let off some steam, babe.
You just said that.
Steaming, if you didn't get it. But yeah, obviously as soon as we know more, we will let you know. But at the moment, it's just that I'm also... there's a little button close to it.
Which way up does it go?
I don't know. Bring it here. Oh, she got it. I don't know. I just filled it through that little grey nozzle thing. I didn't want to pull it and break something else. I broke where one of the nozzle goes already. But yeah, another thing that we're pissed at my sister about is the fact that she rang me 4 hours after she got to my mum. 4 hours. So obviously, as soon as I finished eating tea, because my sister rang me in the middle of tea, I got off the phone and rang my nan to make sure she was alright, because it's her daughter at the end of the day. She can't do Sweet FA 400 miles away. She's got, like, she's so sick herself. She's got 25% of her heart working left. If you don't know, like, I think it's 2 years ago now. No, it was last year. 2 years ago, I think it was. Yeah, it's 2 years ago, because she's been waiting this long having all these problems. 2 years ago, she had a massive heart attack. She was complaining that she was in loads of pain and being really sick and whatever else. They told her it was just her heart meds. She needs to get used to it, basically. A few months later, she was having issues with her bowels. And then she was having severe bleeding, both front and back down there. They did nothing, basically. They were just like, oh, we're not going to do anything because your heart's this bad, blah, blah, blah. She was in absolute agony. And then finally somebody actually listened to her and done something. And they found out that the initial pain that she was having, which they told her it was just her meds, was actually the fact that there was a hole being created through her bowel, through her, like, womb area, and, like, fecal matter was coming through that hole into her womb and then exiting out the front. And that's why she was in so much pain. But because they've left it so long, they're now having a fight over like who's going to do surgery and which bit they do first, the heart or the whole. And obviously now it's to the point that the heart's working at 25%, so she's not really meant to be driving up and down motorways. Plus, obviously now with the worry as well with mum, it's not going to do her heart good. So as soon as I finished eating, I rung Nan just to make sure that she was okay. Apologised that I couldn't ring her earlier because I didn't know. There's not a lot else we can do. My sister's moaning that she's the one who has to do everything, but which like equally makes us feel bad because obviously I moved away. I'm the one who moved down here, and it makes me feel bad in that sense. But that's what people do when they grow up. They move out of home, and some move away and others don't. And my sister's just one that hasn't moved far away from my mum. I mean, worst comes to worst, we could get to my mum in an hour and a half. We would leave the girls here. We would get Soph's parents to come collect the girls, or we would get another friend to come and collect the girls, and it'll be fine. We can get to my mum. But it still will take an hour and a half. But it also can take 45 minutes to an hour to get to Soph's parents. So we're kind of like in the middle of both of them, which we always said we would try our best to be in between both parents. My mum is a little bit further away, but that's how it goes.
Plus, if we move any closer to your mum, you aren't in the catchment for the hospital.
No, I would have to change hospital, and since I've been at this hospital, they're literally the reason why I'm alive today, because every other hospital either didn't listen to me or they just didn't give two shits. So when I got down here, that's when my lungs were so damaged that I had to go on oxygen because everybody had ignored me. A lot of people were just saying it was in my head, and actually it wasn't. I was right, it was my lungs. So yeah, I don't really want to be leaving this area when they are absolutely fantastic to care for, both in the community and in emergencies. So yeah, that's, I mean, we could move a bit closer, but we'd have to move into the city, into Plymouth, and I don't want to live in the city. I grew up in a city and I hate it. Whereas here we're literally on the countryside and we love where we live. So it is tough. It makes things awkward all the time, but if something ever did happen at a drop of the hat, we would be there, we would be leaving. It's just unfortunate that my sister has to pick up the pieces right at the beginning, which really frustrates me, especially when she moans. Like, yeah, it just leaves me speechless. So yeah, hopefully I'll hear something more in a bit and find out what's happening. We don't know if she's staying in overnight or not yet. Who knows? I think with her having an infection and them not knowing where it is, the fact that they think there's something going on with her heart, I think that she probably will stay the night, minimum. But yeah, we're just waiting for that call to find out what's going on. And down here, or in the UK at least, if you're an adult, you're not allowed to have anybody with you. If you're a child, you're allowed one parent, but as an adult, you're not allowed anybody, which is ridiculous considering they're actually stating we don't even have to wear masks anymore, and social distancing doesn't have to happen anymore, and how staff members at hospitals are going to be exempt if they come into contact with people with COVID. They don't have to go into isolation, and yet people can't have a single relative with them when they're at their worst possible state. But that's good old UK government for you. But yeah, as soon as we know more, we will let you know, but that's all we know so far, so just keep your fingers crossed for us that it's okay.